So the doxing of CCW folks, we wanted to talk a little bit about that. First off, San Diego County gun owners and Orange County gun owners and Inland Empire gun owners sent out a joint press released letter to the governor and to the attorney general and to the pro tem of the Senate, basically the head of the California Senate, making some demands. We basically made the case that, hey, look at how dangerous this was, this doxing, all this information. You kind of recapped everything. And, basically said it doesn't matter if it's incompetence or malfeasance. It doesn't matter if he told them directly to do this or if somebody on the staff just thought it was okay because of his, inflammatory rhetoric towards gun owners. Doesn't matter. What matters is all this damage is done, and there needs to be a serious investigation, a third-party investigation, not an internal investigation, but, we got it to like Senator Brian Jones as well, and in the Assembly, Lori Davies and Marie Waldron, and there's at least a push, an enormous push for a real true investigation of what exactly, a forensic investigation, what exactly happened and why. So that's a good thing. Another part of our letter, we don't want any information that they collect to touch the internet. So if you have to get a license or something like that, or if you have to give them all this information, until we no longer have to do that, they can't store that information on any computer that touches the internet. That's another thing. And I think that's going to gain momentum and hopefully even go national as a preventative measure.
Because that is doable.
It's totally doable. Totally doable. If you're going to force these useless lists, stop compromising my safety and just, put it on a computer.
And making it the accessible to the internet.
Right.
Jeez Louise.
So we're putting out that letter. Look for the letter. We actually, we think we sent it out last Thursday in last Thursday's email. So check it out. I'm sure we'll send it out again. We're going to continue to follow up on it. But I wanted to address, everybody wants us to sue. All right, lawsuit. But you got to, I wanted to point out the difficulty and exactly what are we talking about here? Because you can't just sue somebody because you're annoyed. Mm-hmm. So, and you can't sue the government over almost anything. I mean, it's really, really difficult to sue the government for damages. Mm-hmm. In fact, the first step in suing the government is to ask the government permission to sue the government, which is ridiculous.
And if they think you'll win, guess what?
Well,
you're not going to get it.
It's just very difficult.
But I think I like, if I'm on the same page as you are,
sure,
you're looking to get the people involved so that if this did ever go to court, they'd be aware of it. Because how many things go to court that the general public knows no idea?
Well, the letter, the point of the letter is, first off, we need accurate information. We need to know, was it incompetence or malfeasance? We need to know exactly who did what and why.
But I think you did that so the consumer would be well informed in the event this thing blows up and gets bigger.
Hopefully. But here's the thing. To go to court, like, my information was compromised, okay? So my information, my name, my address, all that information was out on the internet. How do I prove I was damaged?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, what did that actually cost?
Something would have to have happened to you that relates to that black and white.
Exactly. And it's really, really tough, and it's frustrating, and it's impossible to unring that bell.
Oh,
Yeah. But there are a couple of, I'll give you one example. If you, let's say you're in some kind of sensitive industry and you spend $3,000 or $4,000, $5,000 a year making sure that the internet is scrubbed of your information and on your privacy and that sort of thing, and then they just go do that. Okay, well, that's clearly you were damaged, right? Because you spend all this money every year. Right. So that's an example. But people are mad, and they have every right to be mad. I'm mad.
Well, you were exposed as well, right?
Probably, yeah. I mean, they have my information.
How long have you had your CCW?
This is, 5 years now?
Yeah,
going to 5
definitely.
years?
Well, then you're in the same boat.
So, question for you, though. Because we were talking about this the other day, and, okay, you have to show you were damaged. So if somebody is the victim of a crime and it comes out that, okay, the criminal found out about them and planned it based on that. But even something a little, less, well, not less, it's still just as damaging, but a little less dramatic or maybe more likely is, say you work for a woke company and you don't want these people to know, you don't mention your gun ownership or anything, and now your name is out there, somebody sees it, and it costs you your job.
then you're damaged.
Right.
That's
Then
clearly
you're
damaged.
damaged.
Is there
there might be
recourse there? Could they do something?
possibly. I know that there are a couple of different organizations that are looking at lawsuits. We're looking at supporting a lawsuit, so CRPA and CGOA are looking at a lawsuit, but I just wanted to explain the complexities, you know. And just because your information's out there, the court isn't going to look at you as being damaged.
Right.
So that's why it's so hard to find plaintiffs. Like, who is actually like I would love to find that person. You know, somebody that gets fired because they were
And they're willing to go
doxxed.
through hell.
You know, well, yeah, you know, it's not lawsuits aren't fun.
No, but I'm just saying, you know, and
Well, if they lost their job or their career, they've already started to go through that. So.
right. So they might be mad enough to say,
Yeah,
all right,
they really
let's
might.
rock and roll.
So that's the kind of plaintiff that people are looking for. If you know of a plaintiff, have them contact CRPA, have them contact us. Somebody that's really truly had damage, you know, like tangible damage. You can't just be annoyed, unfortunately.
Right.
But I think that the more important thing, I don't want to say that. I don't want to say it's more important, but I think an important focus is to make sure that this doesn't happen again. You know, we get rid of lists or we protect lists, and then we make sure that some of the other tangible stuff, like I understand why people are annoyed, but after the CCW victory in court, you know, they're doing all kinds of stuff. They want to see your Facebook page before you get a CCW. They're talking about that. They want to see. They want to make every
Supposedly
place
that
free.
passed in New York.
It did pass in New York. So that's the kind of stuff. So if you're that's the kind of stuff that's going to affect the future. I'm not saying that there's nothing. You know, I don't want to marginalize what happened with the doxing.
Well, if New York did that, I'm glad to see now they're going to do voter ID.
Yeah. What I didn't hear.
Well, of course you didn't.
Yeah.
My point is,
I see.
you made such a big deal to do that to get all my socials, but no, I don't want to see your ID for voting. You're right ahead, sir. No.
So that's what that looks like, guys. I wanted to go over it and explain. Well, gee, why haven't we already won? This happened, a week ago. We should have already won. Wow.
Do you think there should be any repercussion? I mean, any punishment to somebody?
Well, they have to find out exactly what happened, but yeah, whether
And what are the chances
Michael
of that? Because we still don't know who leaked the document out of the
it'd be
Supreme
a long time
Court.
for you to hear that.
Yeah.
But again, and I voiced this opinion last week, and it's just an opinion. I don't know. But to me, just based on all the other behavior from this government that we have out here, I would say it was probably intentional. But I mean, I don't know that. But they would.
No, I might have to
before
agree with you.
repercussions, I mean, they really have to do a serious investigation, which is questionable. But and find out. Maybe it was just somebody goofed something up. But talking to software people and people that are in the IT industry, when they go live with things like that, I mean, they check everything. They go through a lot of testing
before they hit the main switch.
Just because of this kind of stuff. So,
I mean, here's the thing: if Bonta, the Attorney General, who's elected, by the way, if he hadn't been so hostile towards gun owners just days prior, if he hadn't spent an entire year being hostile to gun owners while he was in the legislature, but because he was irresponsible with his words, because he was adversarial, it's easy to believe.
Happens.
And then it's easy to believe, and that's why you don't act and behave the way he does when you're in a position
Well, it's the same
of power
thing
like
with
that.
Governor Newsom as well. I mean, you saw the reaction to the Supreme Court ruling.
Yeah.
The stuff that they said. I mean, they're very hostile toward Americans, law-abiding Americans that own guns out here. And
it was ridiculous. The Bonta's press conference where he was talking about mass murder and in tying those to CCWs.
Yeah.
I mean, how many
said,
CCW holders have committed some kind of mass murder?
They're just throwing it against the wall.
I'm going to go with 0.
I am too. And it just shows you, and the people that really think it out get it. It's the ones that just don't look at both sides of the story. You got to look at both sides of the story.
You're talking about the elected people.
Yeah. Well, those would be the most helpful.
or
I
the
said
ones that elect them.
Said it before, I'll say it again. If you are treating someone who's elected better than you treat an underperforming employee, or worse than you treat an underperforming, you're probably making a mistake.
That's right. Or you shouldn't be in business.
Yeah, it
or
doesn't
you're probably not in business.
It doesn't matter if you're a Republican, a Democrat. It doesn't matter if this person's your neighbor or whatever. treat all politicians the same way you treat an underperforming employee.
Yeah.
No better, no worse.
And let me know if you can get him to work 300 days a year.
Thanks for watching this clip from Gun Owners Radio. You can watch us live every Sunday from 4 to 6 p.m. California time, right here on our YouTube channel, or if you're in the San Diego area, you can listen to us on 1170 a.m. We're also available on your favorite podcast platform for free. Don't forget to like and subscribe so that you can help restore and protect the Second Amendment, not just in California, but across the country.